welcome to my humble homestead and garden side chat. So today I'm going to do a little bit of fast meal prep here. I'm going to do a baked oatmeal, and then while that's cooking, I'm going to I have some cottage bacon, and I'm going to use whatever I have here to make a quick cottage bacon carbonara, so with some pasta. My goal here while I'm doing this meal prep is to use up things that I have in the fridge right now. But what I'm essentially doing is I'm preparing to get ready for my ultimate food pantry challenge that I want to do this winter. So as my garden things come in, as I find things either on sale, at the farmer's market. I found a farmer's market in Detroit Lakes that we're going to go to this weekend. So when I can find things that are at a good price that maybe I'm not growing or I don't have a lot of, I got my new pressure canner, and I'm going to try to preserve those. So the goal is for me, and what a pantry challenge is to do whatever you can to pick 1 month or 2 months or a certain amount of time where you use up what's in your pantry to save money. So I'm trying to stock my freezer, stock my jars. So my goal is I don't want to grocery shop the months of January and February. That's my goal. And the reason why I chose that is because I live in the middle of nowhere in North Dakota. And driving in the middle of the winter is ridiculous. and plus, we don't know what is going to happen with the groceries. So what I'm trying to do is just buy things when they're on sale and preserve them. And then I'm also trying to meal prep, like stock my freezer, as I said, make meals in jars and such. So that number one, it'll be super easy. I can just pull things out, or I'll have things ready to prepare. Like I'm going to can some meats, can some chicken burgers. I've seen people use that for quick spaghetti, quick chili, things like that. So that's the goal. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an easy baked oatmeal. And this is basically something that you can make and just eat as a quick, easy breakfast or brunch throughout the week. Super easy, super delicious, filling. Some people now don't really like the texture of oatmeal. It's kind of goopy and things like that. I like oatmeal, but some don't. So this is more kind of like a cakey bar, and it's really easy to make. So, now this is the second time, we're real here. I tried to make nut yogurt. I tried to make almond yogurt. Look here. See how liquidy it is? I followed it to a T. I used my yogurt starter. No, it did not work. Look it's super runny. So we use milk in here, and I'm not going to waste it. I used that whole bottle of yogurt, not wasting it. So for my milk, I'm going to use this almond yogurt that did not set, and I'm going to use it. So I'm not wasting. So I found a way. It smells great. It smells delicious, but it did not thicken. So there was a couple things I thought, well, I could freeze it and have, frozen yogurt, but otherwise I'm just going to use it as milk for baking, and that's what I'm going to do. But if y'all have tricks and secrets to make this almond milk or cashew milk or whatever turn to yogurt, I tell you, I watch so many YouTube videos. I did it in my Instapot. I don't know. I'm giving up. I'm hoping to find raw milk at this farmer's market this weekend. Otherwise, I'm probably going to just make some with some organic milk again because I do love yogurt. So anyway, all right. So here is what we're going to do. I have my little mock measurements on a scratch piece of paper. So I pre-measured, you just heard my oven beep up. I preheated the oven to 350. And then what I do in my glass bowl, so you can use oil if you want. I personally don't like I don't have any bananas, but you can take one like really ripe mashed banana. Or what I'm going to do is, if you have applesauce, I'm just going to take a half a cup of, I don't have my measuring cups out. One moment though. I tried to be prepared and I'm not. Let's get some out of the dishwasher here. All right. There we go. My glasses. Okay. All right. So I'm using my fermented applesauce that I made because that's the applesauce that I have. And I'm going to use a half a cup. This is a third, so I'm going to kind of do a little bit extra. There we go. So that worked there. I don't like to use any extra sugar, so I will use like a tablespoon of real maple syrup, or you can use honey if you want to. So I just kind of dump about a tablespoon in there. And then to bind it, I'm going to use an egg. You can also use other binders such as like flaxseed or flaxseed oil. I just use an egg. That works great. Put the shells in my composter garden. And then I use 1.5 cups of milk. So I am going to use this mixture, whatever I want to call it. 1.5. Sometimes I double the recipe, but it's kind of, this will be plenty. If there's any left, I can bring it to my mom this weekend. Vanilla extract, we do about a teaspoon of vanilla. I don't ever measure like my vanilla because I like it a lot. So this I got in the Caribbean. I always like to get my real vanilla either in Mexico or the Caribbean, but I know a lot of people make it, so that's great too. You can get vanilla bean and make it with vanilla bean and like vodka or yeah, that's always works good too. We're gonna whisk that together. There we go. And then, that in there, we're going to put, oh, for goodness gracious, we're going to put 2.5 cups of rolled oats. Now, I know what I did. I was going to pour it out of here. I buy the bulk organic rolled oats. I think I got these, I think I got them either on Amazon or Costco. Some people, you can get them at Azure. But I like to buy them kind of in a bigger bag. This is a big bag for me. But yeah, so some people, you know, they get like the 50-pound bags and keep it in a 5-pound bucket, which, you know, I'm actually looking into doing because you never know. I mean, I bought a couple food storage buckets, so 2.5 cups of the rolled oats right into there. And then to help bind it, this is optional, but I like it a little kind of like bar or cakey-y versus just more like a dense oatmeal, baked oatmeal. So it just depends on how you like it. If you like it more like a cakey, then what I like to do is I like to add just about a 1/4 cup of oat flour. Now, if you don't have oat flour, you can always add, like a coconut flour. So I just add a 1/4 cup just to kind of make it a little more cakey. That's kind of how I describe it or like it. So I do that, and then I add a teaspoon of baking powder. So I'll add a teaspoon of that, helps it rise, and some cinnamon for a little flavor. All right, then I'm gonna mix this all up. While I'm doing this, I have water boiling on the stove for my pasta for the next meal that I'm doing. So I'm trying to keep things moving here. So this, and it will be a little loose and runny. I think I might even need a smaller pan because I usually make a double and I use this. So, oh gosh, I'm kind of klutzy today. use a double, this one. And I'm going to put some sort of oil in there. I think I'm going to do could do olive oil, but I usually do coconut oil. Rub that around in there. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put this in my pan. And then the fun part. So I just put this in my pan like this. You can use a brownie pan. You double the recipe if you have a bigger family, or you know. This literally, I can eat this all week. Now you can add whatever you want. You can add nuts, fruit, chocolate chips, anything. I have some frozen blueberries, and I am just gonna literally, and I like lots of blueberries. So that's kind of where I get the sweetness from, is like the fruit and the maple syrup. And I literally just throw them on top. They will kind of sink in there. I kind of just push them down a little bit. And then, there we have it. I'm going to bake this for about 30 to 35 minutes, or until it's brown around the edge and it starts to pull away from the pan at 350. So I will put this in, and then we'll move on to our next recipe. So that's simple way to have a easy breakfast and stick it in the fridge. It's good for a few days and it lasts all week. Okay, so here we are back with, I have the pasta water starting to boil, and I have some cottage bacon here that I got from Seven Sons, which is where I order my meat, my pasture raised meat here. And I'm going to try to open this and get this cooking here in this skillet. Get it open. Alright, so we get this going here. Alright, so we get the pasta in here. Cottage bacon is closer to Canadian bacon, where it's less fat. It's not as greasy. So I'm just going to, you can use it as a breakfast food as well. I'm just going to make a pasta meal with it. So I'm really not a big breakfast eater. I kind of make things that I can have on hand for if I am hungry, or I kind of eat breakfast more like around 11, so it's more like a brunch. And then I eat one other meal later, like a dinner. So I kind of like to have something that is more filling. Yeah, I usually do that. I eat something with like one of my fermented foods. So yeah, so I'm gonna get this cooked up here, and then I'm gonna put it on the plate. And then I'm going to save this and cook my garlic and spices in that. And then I have some canned tomatoes, stewed tomatoes. It says to use diced tomato, but I have canned stewed tomatoes. I'm just using what I have. I'll bring this stuff over here. So, and then you use 1/3 plus 2 tablespoons of heavy cream. I have the powdered, so I think the powdered is a great staple for when you're cooking, especially when you're doing a pantry challenge. So I just mix this up to 1/3 and 2 tablespoons, and this is what I'll use in my pasta sauce. It's great. I buy that in bulk as well. You can buy that on Amazon or Zero Standard. So, and then we're just going to reserve a little bit of this liquid to put in our pasta sauce as well. So this is just basically a 2-dish mix here. Should be pretty quick. This bacon cooks up pretty quick. Just like to make sure it's cooked all the way through here. I'm going to put this on a plate, and then I'm going to let it cool a little bit, and then I'm going to cut it up. And then in the meanwhile, in the pan, I will put some garlic. Kind of like to get a little bit of brown, kind of some brown bits in there. Get some good flavor going. Probably could have made more pasta and made this meal go a lot longer. I don't know that I'm going to use all of this bacon. I'll probably actually use half of it, and then I'll put half of it in a container and maybe make an egg bake with the other half. I think that's what I'm going to do, because I didn't really use as much pasta as I thought I would. So yeah, I kind of wing it. So, all right, so I'm going to take this out here. All right, now I'm going to go and get some garlic. I like a lot of garlic, so I put a lot of garlic in there. Now, when you're doing freezer meals, I like to make the pasta a little bit al dente, because I will be cooking that pasta again at a later time. So I'm actually going to drain out this pasta, and I'm going to save just like 1 or 2 tablespoons. So I'm just going to drain out this pasta here and save about 1 or 2 tablespoons. So not a lot of the liquid we need. Basically, I'll just let that kind of drain in there. All right, so now the garlic is getting brown here. Oops. And I can smell it. So I'm going to add some of my tomatoes here so the garlic doesn't burn. And I'll just chop these tomatoes up since they weren't diced. But like I said, I just used the tomatoes that I have. I didn't get any special diced ones. And then here I have some dried oregano, and I have crushed red pepper. Now, if you don't want it spicy, you can use some smoked paprika. But I like a little bit of crushed red pepper. So I'm going to add that in there. Have another jar. What I could do is I could freeze an extra thing of sauce here. So I'm going to add both jars of my tomatoes since I opened them. And now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to cut up this cottage bacon here. Kind of cutting it into smaller pieces. I'm going to do about half of it. The other half, I think I am going to make an egg bake. That'll be super simple, super quick. Since I took that other pan out also, I'll do a quick egg bake, and then we'll have 3 meals done super fast and easy. And those egg bakes, we can also freeze those too. So that will be another freezer meal. And that's one of those good brunch meals. Add a little bit of salt and pepper to this. I do buy my pink Himalayan sea salt in bulk too, and then I just refill this. Do that. Okay, so as this is boiling, it's starting to get a little bit thicker, I'm gonna stir in this cream here. See if this will help thicken it up. And I think what I may do is switch this over to the bigger pot there. So I have more room where I can just stir it more easily. add some Parmesan to it. Now I just have some powdered Parmesan too I bought in bulk. I don't have any fresh, but this would be great with fresh. I am using what I have. I haven't gone to the grocery store, so I'm just going to add some powdered Parmesan to help this thicken up a little bit. Okay, that is boiling nice and thick, so I'm going to add this cottage bacon back in here. Oh, I didn't quite get so. Okay, so then I'm just going to add this cottage bacon back in here, and then I'm going to throw the pasta in. Just like this. And we will mix it all together. If you like a saucy pasta, this looks really good here. I think I might go pick some fresh lettuce out of my garden and make a lettuce and spinach salad with this, and have this, a little bit of this for dinner tonight, and then I will freeze some up and have some for the future as well. So there you have it. Yeah, I think that looks amazing. I will taste it later. It's kind of morning. I don't really feel like having pasta, but I will definitely taste it later. It smells amazing. All right, you know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and make that egg bake and get that made, and then that will be 3 things we got done in a very short amount of time. So yes, easy meal prep here. See you in a moment. Okay, hello, I'm back. Let's do a quick 3rd meal prep in under 1 hour. How fun is this? All right, so I have some eggs. I wish they were super fresh. I would love to build a small chicken coop in my backyard and have a couple laying hens. I definitely gonna try to work on that with our community here. I don't know what the rules are. I know what the North Dakota rules are, but I don't know what my local rules are. So I would love just to have a couple. I know we have some really loud barking dogs, and I can't imagine what a couple quiet little laying hens would be like. So anyway, so I took about 10 eggs, put some garlic, salt, and pepper in here. I have some green onions in my fridge that I have to use up. I'm going to cut up this cottage bacon. I've got some spinach in my fridge I need to use up. And I'm going to use some more of this, whatever you want to call it. It's supposed to be almond yogurt, but it didn't set, so I'm going to use it as some milk to whip with my eggs to make it a little fluffy. To make it a little smaller. I'm not going to make it super small because I'm just going to kind of lay it across the top. So when I do an egg bake, I kind of just take whatever I have and put it together. Like if I had leftover potatoes or rice, I would even put that at the bottom of my pan. And I'm just using this pan that I had taken out. I had a little bit of that coconut oil I put on the bottom, and then just a little bit of butter because I didn't have enough coconut oil and I just didn't feel like taking it out. So I just kind of oiled the bottom of that up, just cutting this cottage bacon. So you can, honestly, this is how I clean up my leftovers in my fridge. Usually kind of towards the end of the week, I just go through, see whatever needs to be used up, make some meals, eat some, and then freeze the rest. So I'm going to take about a cup of this yogurt stuff. I mean, normally I would maybe use a half a cup, but I have so much. Oh, Alexa, stop. Gotta go check our oatmeal. Still needs a little bit more time, so we'll leave that in there. So I normally would put about a half a cup of milk in here, but I'm going to put a little bit more just because I have all this to use up, and I think it would give it some extra nutrition. So I put a cup in there, just like that. And I'm going to whisk this up together with these eggs. Like I said, it's whatever you and your family likes. But this is a great way. And even you could have even like a little tiny slice of this with a slice of the oatmeal. Nice, great brunch. Has everything in it. All right, so this, I'm going to just pour it right into my pan on the bottom. And like I said, I put the garlic, And I put the salt and pepper in there already. You can add whatever. Sometimes you put some cayenne pepper in there, whatever you want. Then I'm going to go ahead and just top it with these onions. Pull it back so you can see what I'm doing. With these onions here and the cottage bacon. I didn't realize there was so much in that package. I thought that cottage bacon was one big old hunk of slice. So yeah, this worked out great. To get extra meals out of this. And I love doing this, like when I have, sometimes I'll do it on a day I have off. And I'll just cook up a bunch of meals. And then I'll have, you know, 4 meals in the fridge. And then I'll just freeze the rest. And then I have so many, you know, freezer meals. I have such a variety. It's awesome. So that, and then I also have these little tomatoes that have to be used. So I'm just going to cut these up in half. Throw those on top too. It's starting to get a little wrinkly. And I actually skipped a Misfits order, and so I'm just using up what I had. And I am going to try out that farmer's market, so I'm kind of excited about that. So it's all about using what you have so you don't have to spend extra money. And then I have this spinach, this organic spinach, that I think I actually even got at Costco. So I'm just going to use my clean hand here. Take a couple handfuls of that and just throw it on top. Just like this. This I might actually just kind of push down with a spoon to get that a little bit wet. I like the spinach down in there. So there we go. Now we have some nice, now if I didn't have so much vegetables in here, I would actually put my vegetable powder in here. I have the, you know, the vegetable powder that I dehydrated. Because I have